Hey there and welcome back to my channel. I think we can all agree that resort fees suck, but here's the thing. It's 2024 and until last week I had never been charged a resort fee in my entire life, and I'm almost 60. So I've been to Las Vegas about 10, 12 times since 98, for parties, trade shows, sometimes just passing through on my way out to the national parks in Utah and Arizona. I have stayed at the Luxor 4 or 5 times, and once at the Plaza, the Orleans, the Rio, and this week at the MGM Grand. My wife and I spent a week in southern Utah and northern Arizona, and we visited Zion National Park, Horseshoe Bend, Antelope Canyon, Sedona, and the Grand Canyon. We got lucky, had mostly very nice weather, save for a very snowy drive up I-17 in Arizona from just below Sedona to Flagstaff. If it wasn't for the plow and 5 or 6 big rigs in front of me, my rental car might not have made it. I saw at least a dozen cars that slid off on the southbound lanes. But as it's off season, we were kind of winging it on this trip, always booking rooms the day before we arrived somewhere. Following the weather and using rocket miles to rack up United Mileage Plus miles. In Page, Arizona, we even stayed at 2 different places for our 2 nights there. The Best Western Plus, which was awful, and then on the second night, we were at a Home 2 Suites by Hilton that we really liked, and we had stayed at one in Barstow several days earlier, so we knew it would be okay. Well, I hope you're enjoying the video so far. Just a gentle reminder that a like, a subscribe, and maybe a snarky comment. It's all good. Thanks. Anyway, back to the resort fees. None of the first places we stayed at had one, so when we booked the Hilton Vacations Club Sedona Summit in Sedona, that's a mouthful, I was surprised when a message popped up that there would be a resort fee charged at check-in, $55 on a $79 room. That's a whopping 70% of the room rate. I was more than a little bothered, mostly at myself for not seeing it in time. And then at the sheer size of the fee, I was curious and ready for a battle at check-in. What could they possibly be offering me at that rate? So I pull up, go into the front desk and ask, so what's the deal with the $55 resort fee? And the fellow says, it's only $25. Oh, okay, all right. So what do I actually get for that $25? And he hands me this little business card, which you see right up here. And I didn't have my glasses and my arms just aren't long enough anymore to read without them. So I nudge him a little. I said, is there any way to get out of this? He says, no. So he assigns me a room, and I see the resort map, and I see that we're right across the street in the first building looking at the parking lot. Ugh. This is Sedona. I can see the beautiful scenery right behind the buildings. So I ask him, well, can you at least do better than that with my room? We want to see something other than parked cars, and it sure doesn't look too busy here today. So the guy walks around the corner and starts talking to who I assumed was a manager. That manager then opens a side door, looks me up and down, and shuts the door again. Seconds later, the front desk fellow comes back and says, they have a suite for me in another building with a nice view. Damn. Now, I can't be sure if it was my rugged good looks or the fact that I came in all ready for a fight about the resort fee and my Bronx was showing. I hate when that happens. Needless to say, we ended up in a 1-bedroom suite with a full kitchen, balcony, awesome view, and a sense that I had made the most of that interaction. But let's look at what is actually listed on the resort fee card, now that I have my glasses on. Basic guest internet. It was basic. You get spoiled when you live in Spain or other places and they have 300 to 600 megabits all the time. So in the US, 15 to 20 megabits has to do. DVD rentals. Yep, they had DVD players in the rooms. I guess, for family vacations with kids, and maybe this is a thing, but why not just smart TVs and let people log into their Netflix, Prime, etc.? The next one was 10% off local area dining. Yeah, but no list of restaurants was provided, so no clue who was participating. Self-parking. Nice to know that I am paying for the privilege of parking my own car. Really? Video and board game rentals. Meaning, I get to pay more to rent stuff, or I get to borrow for free. Again, no list of what was on offer, just that little card. Sports equipment. Again, no list, and if they meant pool noodles, I am not sure the pool was even open in early February. It did snow that night. Cultural activities. Again, no list, no info. But at 7:30 p.m. that evening, I did get a text saying that from 5:30 to 6:30, there would be music in the common area. Oops, a little late. Now, truth be told, this is a fantastic resort, and I definitely go back. You need to have the right room in the right building. You need to come off season and not on the weekend. I paid $79, but the next night was a Friday, and I think they were asking $181 plus the resort fee plus tax. So no thanks. Fast forward a few nights, and we've seen the Grand Canyon now on a beautiful day. There'll be a 4K walking tour video coming out next week on my channel. And that was sandwiched right between our snowy drive up from Sedona and a gray day as we headed out to Vegas. I booked the MGM Grand, again via Rocket Miles, and I'm not sponsored by Rocket Miles, and they've certainly never heard of my channel, but I love that site. I earned 11,500 miles last week on all those stays, and you can earn a lot more if you're not on a budget like me. You can hook it into all major airlines, mileage programs, and so check it out. There's a link in the description below. So back to the MGM, $64 a night, nice. But wait, taxes, yeah, okay, normal, $14 per night. But the resort fee is now $50 per night, plus tax on the resort fee. Yikes. Apparently, this was raised in mid-January. Now, this does not include parking. That's another $23 a night. Luckily, we gave our rental back the next day and only paid for one day of the 2 we were there. At check-in, the front desk clerk bluntly tells us, you should really do an upgrade. You'll be looking at a wall in this room. So we decide to go for it. And maybe she was telling the truth. Maybe it's what she says to everyone. And we got a suite on the 27th floor. Great room. Awesome view of the New York across the street. So now we're at 64 plus 14 plus 50 plus 23. So 146 a night plus tax. That's just a wee bit different than the 64 you get hooked in with. So now about the resort fee. I asked the lady what it gets me. She says, you get internet. And I answer, well, I already logged into your free Wi-Fi while waiting half an hour in line to check in. So she says, you get the gym. I said, I don't need a gym. She says, you get free local and long distance calls. I say, I already get that on my cell phone plan. She says, we print airline boarding passes for you if you need them. I said, I got that on my mobile. So the $55 is for absolutely nothing. What century are they living in at the MGM to think that anything on that list is worth the $55 per night they're charging? And here's where it gets really whack. The minibar. I thought about playing some ominous music here. It's a literal minefield. Do not approach. It is sensitive to the touch. It will blow up in your face.
Pretty intense, huh? That's why I told you, touch nothing, but you're a bunch of cowboys.
So like he says, touch nothing. I picked up a bag that was next to the water bottles on top of the minibar fridge. I wanted to know if it was nuts. It wasn't. It was jerky. It was placed sideways, so there was no way to read it without touching it. So, details. Here's the price list. $22 for a bottle of smart water in that picture there. Yep, that is not a typo. And please move your eyes to the bottom right. Restocking fee, $50. So, if you take a bottle of $22 water, you will pay $72. And if you move the bag of jerky, a charge of $23 appears instantly on your bill. There is a quick $100 you never thought you'd spend. Luckily, I woke up early and had seen a checkout option via the TV. I did not have the water or the jerky, but the jerky appeared on my bill. I called downstairs right away and complained, and they took the $23 off my bill. So be careful out there, fellow travelers. Hotels are out to get your money as much as possible through shady pricing and worthless fees and hypersensitive minibars. Why not just let me blow the $150 downstairs on gambling? Well, shoot, maybe they know I really don't care about gambling. Well, last time I was in Vegas, and it was 2017 for a conference, I did play in a poker tournament at the MGM. I think the buy-in was $35. It is now $130 for the daily tournaments. Well, there are a few hotels left in Vegas that do not charge resort fees. There's a link down below to show that. It seems to be a very short list, so do your research, and if you find some good ones, let me know in the comments below. In summary, traveling is great and I love to do it as often as I can, but things are getting out of hand in the cost and fee department, especially in Las Vegas. I always felt like I could stay cheap in Vegas, eat cheap, get a few free beers while I watch 20 games at one time in the sports book, and then head home and wash the yuck off my body that Vegas tends to leave you with. Of course, this is Super Bowl week, and that $64 room at the MGM is now listed at $414 per night for Friday through Sunday. But don't worry, the resort fee is still $55, a mere 13% of the room rate. What a steal, literally. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.